co-host, Santi Hernandez.
And I'm your co-host, Javier Vicuna.
On today's show, we'll have a continuation of what we had last week. We talked about mental health. Now, today we want to talk about more focusing on students with their mental health. I know a lot of students are stressed out because AP exams and finals are coming up, and some are unmotivated. So we're here to talk a little bit more of how we can release that stress and be more motivated to finish strong. But before we do talk about that, I would like Santi to say her quote of the week for this show.
Yes, I'm so excited for the show today. We'll be talking a lot about stress and how to stay motivated. And today I decided to pick a quote. And it says, "It's not how well you handle the good days that determine how well you do in life. It's how well you handle the bad days." So when you're under stress, and for a lot of you, you're working through finals, or if you're not going to school and you're working just balancing work and school, there's a time when you're stressed that you tend to look at the people around you and you see that they seem to have a good day, that nothing is happening in their life, that they're basically have a perfect life. But reality is that that's not what makes a person successful. You know, a person successful goes through bad and good days. So just remember that in your bad days, it's how you handle those bad days that will make you stronger in the future. So that's the quote of the week. And now, do you guys have any add?
I totally agree that it depends on your character and how you take into the situation and where you're in a bad situation. And you can definitely turn things around if you look things differently. That's all I wanted to say.
I wanted to say, too, that I really thought that the quote is great, especially for what we're going to talk about later in the show, where we're going to talk about how we've dealt with stress, right? And to me, you have to sort of go through these bad times. Stress is just part of life, and it's just the way that you deal with stress and the different ways that work for you will make you a far more stronger and way more prepared person for whatever happens to you, right? Because life happens, as we talk about. But right before we get to that, we're going to go ahead and play a PSA on wildfires, as it is wildfire season right now here in Marin County. So stay tuned.
Wildfire season is here again. Pacific Gas and Electric will turn off electricity when there is extreme fire danger to reduce the risk of wildfires. Marin residents need to be ready in case of prolonged power outages. First, you can sign up to get notifications about planned power outages. These will tell you when the power outages are likely to happen and how long the power will be out. To receive notifications, text your zip code to 888-777. Second, be sure to have a working flashlight, enough food and water for 3 days, and other necessary items stored in your house and or your car. Third, learn about how to prepare to keep your family safe in case of a wildfire or extended power outage. See emergency preparedness information on the readymarin.org website. Please text your zip code to 888-777 to get on the alert system today.
Welcome back. That was the PSA, and we hope you guys found it helpful. As you can see, summer's coming, and there's more heat, so there's more risk of wildfire. So be careful, and we hope you found that helpful. But we will be talking about how to gain motivation, release stress, and finish strong. And first, I want to talk about how you can release stress with schoolwork. One thing that I would advise is that you should get enough sleep. I know a lot of people tend to not sleep that much and try to stay up to do homework, but you're not giving a rest to your brain, and it's better if you sleep so that you can be more productive. Just power through it when you have more sleep.
Well, do you know that teenagers are some of the most, or
sleep
the most
deprived?
common, most sleep deprived people?
Yeah.
And it makes sense. I mean, the amount of work that they give out at schools for people, for high schoolers, especially now, you get a ton of work and stress because you have to prioritize going to college after or having to figure out what you're going to do after high school. I know there's a lot of people that don't go to college after, which is fine. It's just finding that it creates a lot of stress. And again, I totally understand why they're probably the most sleep deprived people.
Yeah, and I've seen over the years, it's been more prioritized to go to college, and there's like a lot of more people like doing homework, and it's just a lot more competitive, and I know it's a lot of homework to do. But that being said, you guys should also take time for yourself, like working out.
Yes,
Very
important.
Yeah, I feel like working out can boost your confidence and mood, so it's like a relationship with mental health and working out for sure. Also, like, you have to realize that grades are not everything. You need to realize that mental health is first before your grades. And I know grades are important, but mental health is first, because if you are sick, you can't make up the test that you're all stressed about. And if you're ending up in the hospital and it comes to worse and you die, it's all in vain for sure. So please think about it and just know that mental health, and your health, physical health is first as well. Also, eat healthy so you can boost your brain power.
Yep.
And give more energy throughout the day. I know I take snacks throughout the day if I feel low, And
it's also a good skill to learn how to like cook yourself. Because I know, again, for high schoolers, it's very easy to just go buy fast food for lunch,
for sure.
or like eat very greasy food because it fills you up for the rest of the day. But it really doesn't help when you eat like a big burrito and then you come to class and you're feeling all tired. And it just doesn't make the experience in class that much better. So kind of cooking your own foods and bringing them will not only just make you that more powerful, but also it'll boost your confidence, because you'll know how to make some food. You'll be able to take care of yourself. It's all part of taking care of yourself. So
for sure. Yeah, and I think it's like when growing up, like, you're not going to have your mom cooking for you, so it's best for you to learn how to cook as well. And I think you save money, like going to the grocery store, buying the food, and cooking it yourself. So for sure, like, I encourage you guys to learn how to cook too. And also, last thing that I want to mention is to think positive and believe in yourself that you can do it. I know a lot of people procrastinate and do it all in one day, all their homework, and that's because they believe in themselves, although I don't encourage it, but it's totally possible to do what you think you can do. With that being said, I encourage you guys to work hard and give it your best during the situation that you're in. And as long as you're doing your best, it's totally fine if you miss a few things. And yeah, just finish strong. And Javier will now be talking about how to get more motivated for sure.
So, since fun fact, I'm graduating today. Yay. So, it doesn't feel like I'm graduating because obviously it's not going to be in person, but I'm still graduating at the end of the day, and I'm very happy to be done with school for now. But coming from my perspective and how long I've been, getting an education since high school and then coming into another 4 years of college, what I can tell you is what I've learned, the best way to stay motivated is to set goals for yourself, like long-term and short-term goals. They will really, really come a long way in helping you out. So, for example, like a short-term goal, what I mean by that is that would be getting all of your homework done before the weekend. So then you have that weekend all to yourself, basically. Time for you to relax or work out, play video games, do something that makes you happy, right? Or finding a hobby. Just always setting that short-term goal. That's kind of honestly been implemented into my brain to always get my homework done by the weekend so that I don't have anything to worry about. And I'm sure a lot of people, create goals like that too for themselves to feel motivated throughout the week. But also long-term goals can do a lot. So, for example, another long-term goal would be buying a new car, right? So that's a pretty long-term goal because we're not made out of money, and obviously high schoolers aren't made out of money. But once you start getting a job and you start balancing out, your job and schoolwork, setting goals like that, or maybe not even just buying a new car, but buying a camera or buying, I don't know, a video game console, anything like that can be long-term, will help you not just realize how to organize your money and save up for that, but it'll also make you I'm working this job for this, so it's motivating me to keep working here.
Yeah, and I think, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think it also requires discipline and I know it can be hard at first trying these goals. I know like doing the homework and then finishing off over the weekend can be hard, but it can be better. Like as a habit, it will be better.
It brings a lot of satisfaction to
Yeah,
you,
for
right?
sure.
Because like you're saying, the homework, it's no one likes doing homework unless it's like for a fun class.
Yeah.
Then the homework's fun. But for most of the time, I understand. Like, for example, I hated science class, science homework. I hated doing it, but I had to do it. Because if I didn't, then I would just have to deal with it over the weekend. And that would make me even more, like, angry and unmotivated. Like, I literally felt more unmotivated doing it over the weekend than just doing it over the week and then not doing it on the weekend. Like, I just felt really satisfied after. So that's why I prioritize those, that you set goals for yourself. Because you're really going to see an improvement in your motivation for sure. But I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Santi, who will talk about how to finish strong in these last few weeks of school, as I know a lot of us are finishing school.
Yes. So much information from both of you. Thank you for sharing. And again, congratulations, Javier. I know you've been going up and down with school projects, finishing strong. Just congratulations.
But thank you.
Yeah, it's a huge accomplishment. And I know Annalie's finishing off her senior year in high school. So how to finish strong, the 4 tips that I kind of gathered together and kind of remembering from my experience is, one is going a little bit, touching back on to what Javier said, and it's prioritizing, setting yourself goals, because I'm a type of person who has so many things, has so many things, and then I can't make them happen. So
You try to do too much.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
It's
I'm
hard
guilty of doing that too. Yeah.
It's hard on me because then I'm so hard on myself, saying I didn't accomplish this and that, and that. But just making sure you prioritize is super important, and it can help you finish even stronger. Then reinforcing routines. When you are at the end and you see the finish line, you kind of slow down.
Oh yeah. I mean, for example, for me,
Yeah.
when I had all my projects due this week, it took me a long time to like. I procrastinated on it. I'll admit. I'll be honest. I procrastinated on a lot of it because I just felt like, well, first of all, senioritis is a thing, right?
It
Like when you're
sure
about to
is.
graduate or when you're about to be done with a semester, you just do not want to do anything anymore.
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
know.
all right, I'm done with this. I just want to leave.
Yeah, so that's
So-
why the importance of reinforcing routines. So yes, I see the finish line, but saying, okay, what's important right here? It's going out or finishing this and then enjoying the time, not having to think about going and doing homework.
Yeah,
right?
because you enjoy better like not stressing out when you're hanging out
Yeah.
with your friends, so it's better to do
very
it.
very true, and I've seen that, and it happened with me and many of my friends, and it's really bad when
Yeah,
you are
you-
at the end.
Yeah, you
you're like,
feel
oh shoot,
guilty.
I have so many
Yeah.
things to catch up on.
Mhm.
Right. So then my third point is be consistent with discipline. That kind of touches with reinforcing routines. So discipline, making sure again that, okay, I need to get this done, and you get that done. Right. So in reinforcing that discipline with yourself and in constantly going back saying, okay, I'm almost done. I can do this. I can do this. And then the most important thing is taking care of yourself. Yes, it's important to continue to work, but to take a break when you need to, okay? So that tends to happen when a lot of people are at the end, again, finishing, and then they are constantly going at it as well, getting work done. And they're like, I'm going to take a break at the end. Yes, you can take a break at the end, but take some time to listen to your body. Like you mentioned, Annalie, that stress can lead you to the hospital. It's something it's just putting it out there, oh, I'm stressed. But really, stress has a huge factor in how your body works.
Oh yeah.
So a reminder that your mind is connected to your entire body. And if your mind is not on the right place, certain things will shut down because your mind is not at 100%.
And something that really put me into perspective is that a lot of the people that I've met who have, gone over the age of 70 and are still living, like, past their 70s, a lot of them told me they just never had stress in their life, or they never dealt with stress. And I feel like stress is definitely a big factor in how long you live as a person, because if you live your whole life in stress, you're going to die early. It's just the truth. It's just true. I've seen it firsthand where, I've met some really stressed out, guys in their 50s or 30s.
Yeah, they can have
and they get
heart problems.
Heart problems.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, there are heart problems that can arise from stress. I mean, I've heard only of cases in males, but I'm sure there's cases in females too. And it's just stress is a thing that will always exist, but you have to learn to deal with it and understand that there are many other things to life than just stress.
Yeah.
You shouldn't put your whole mindset.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you can't, like, get rid of stress, but you can learn how to handle it,
Yeah.
for sure.
Definitely. You learn how to relieve stress. And on the second part of our show, we're gonna share a little bit more about our own experience and how we deal with stress and how we can give you guys some tips or things that you guys can do at home. But we're gonna play our song by Incense and Cologne, "The Wind," and we'll be right back.
I know this can't be life. Look at everything inside. It's strife, but we try to live it right. Keep on going through the night. I'm falling in darkness, where you gotta stand up, don't be heartless. Everything pulling you down, I feel it. But really, life is what you make it. I know I ain't seen everything, but I've seen enough to know this world crazy. So baby, try to live at peace and try to breathe at ease. Breathe at ease, breathe at ease, breathe at ease. Some are going with the wind, some are going against the wind. But we keep going, so when we go.
Welcome back. So, as Santi was saying, we're just going to go ahead and share some of our experiences with dealing with stress and being unmotivated. So, as I mentioned before in the show earlier, I'm graduating today, and it took a lot of brain health and just maximizing my time to really get to where I'm at right now. And time management is what I really want to talk about. Time management is probably like one of the biggest factors of stress, right? Because everything has a deadline. Your homework has a deadline. Your work has a start and an end. Time is a crazy thing because we set a lot of our lives around time, and if you do not properly know how to time manage yourself, you're gonna be stressed out your whole entire life. So time management is a very important thing to have. And, ways that I've dealt with time management is just creating a schedule, creating a calendar, making sure that you know when everything's going on. And sometimes, like today, for example, for me, in the morning, I had a ton of meetings I had to do for work. And I knew I was going to have these meetings, but you should also understand that these meetings can go past their time or that they might be full of, information that you may not have known of before. So it could just go on for longer. So it's always good to know what you're getting into, right? So always knowing exactly what that meeting is or what that assignment is that you have to get done on time, and know the level of like how hard it will be or challenging. So time management is very important. Again, another thing that I really learned over time was I used to prioritize work over everything. I would barely make any time to go see friends or do anything because I was like, I have to get school done. I don't want to fail. I don't want to, make my parents not proud of me. Like, it's just a lot of stress, right? And a lot of pressure that you get, especially when you get to college, because that you're getting your bachelor's or whatever degree you're going to go for, and there's just a lot of added pressure from a lot of people. But what I found is that I found a balance where if I have time to see a friend or just go out to lunch and eat with them or have dinner with them, I've found that to really help my stress levels and just go under. Because it's really nice to just take a break from all the work that you're doing. Because, again, you can get really caught up with getting all of these assignments done. And I'm not saying to procrastinate, right? But what I'm saying is you have to if there's an opportunity where you see fit for you to go out or maybe just take a walk or just take a break, then do it. And it'll really help, because every time I usually go out while I'm doing a project or something and I have like a little bit of time to just go out and eat something or just chat with my friends, when I come back, I feel very motivated again. Like, okay, now I'm good. Like there's more to life than just this work that I'm doing. And now that I know that, I can just continue doing my work how I want. So that's kind of how my perspective on things and what I've learned, as a graduating senior here at SF State. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pass this over to Santi now, so she can explain her perspective.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing. I can definitely relate with you about balancing our time, especially with friends, school, family, and just learning to have your time and then managing it. I need this time, this time, this time for school, work, etc. And for me, over the past few years, it was definitely a struggle. But due to my teacher, Mr. Eric Stenberg, he taught me so much about balancing my time and setting goals. So, like I mentioned before earlier, being able to, for school, if we're talking about school, I remember he would make us write all of our assignments that we had for that week, and then he would say, okay, so you have 5 days or 4 days, split that work into 4 days where you're not overworking yourself and you're not making it too easy for yourself. So you have a balance between working and that is very important, just making sure that you guys have goals for yourself. And now, how to stay motivated. If you have a goal, write it down, okay? It's super important.
Yeah.
In my room, if you go in my room, my closet door is filled with goals that I have, and there are long-term and short-term goals. Javier mentioned this earlier. For me, it's on my closet, there are my long-term goals. There are things I want to accomplish before I'm 30. And I know it sounds crazy because it's 10 years from now, but it's important. Write them down so you're aware that you have a goal, and that's how you stay motivated. So when you wake up, you read them, and you consciously come into a mindset where am I what I'm doing today, is it helping me to get closer to my goals, or is it moving me far away from my goals?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And then on my phone, I have done I put different wallpapers on my phone. There are times where I have a short-term goal and I write it down on my notes. I screenshot it and put it as my lock screen. So when I'm opening my phone, I can see that, and it's super important. It's one of the ways I stay motivated. Now, the biggest way I stay motivated is taking care of my mind, right? Last week's show was about, mental health. And so for me, my biggest advice that I can tell you guys is take a break when you need to, and make sure that you learn and that you're constantly learning how to balance your life. And like I said in the quote earlier, you're going to have bad days, and it's okay. It's okay to feel your feelings. Learn how to work with your feelings, not to break you, but to make you stronger. And that is my touch on that. So, Annalie, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I really liked how you said that you put your goals on the screen, you screenshot it and then you put it in your lock screen. I think that's a really good idea.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, and I've seen people do different types of things with putting stuff on their lock screen to help them remind certain stuff. So I really like how you mentioned that. I might try that too and see if I can get more motivated. But yeah, I totally agree with all what you guys said. I definitely encourage to take naps when you're tired, because that's what I do. Sometimes I just take a nap. Or there's motivational, have you guys heard of motivational speeches?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of them on YouTube. So if you want to hear one, I encourage you. It's pretty cool to
TED
listen.
Talks.
Yeah, there's
are
TED
really
Talks
great
too.
for improving your mental health and stability. There's some really great stuff out there.
Yeah, for sure. And so also accept to take breaks when your brain doesn't want to work. I totally agree with you guys, what you guys said too. For me, I know you guys touch up on overworking yourself, and that's another thing of bringing unmotivation and stuff like that, not being motivated to continue because you're overworked. So that's a sign that you need a break for sure. So don't be hard on yourself either, and make sure you take those breaks that you need. I also plan out which assignments I have to do first before other ones that I have to get done by the deadline. And and I also work out or run to release stress. I really
Working out is
that's
just a great way.
big one
Yeah.
for me.
Me too.
I've mentioned this again. I've mentioned this so many times too. That for me, working out is nothing to do about losing or gaining weight. It's for me, it's never been so much a big, huge thing about that. It's actually my way to give my mind a break. When I'm working out, I'm connecting with my body in a way that I don't do when I'm sitting down on the computer.
Yep.
You know,
I
it's
completely understand.
or if I'm doing homework, or if you guys are working or homework or anything, it's so different from when you're running or when you're working out or doing yoga or playing a sport. It moves your mindset to connect with your body, and you get to see how powerful you are. Because, for example, a quick example of running is I used to hate running really bad. I used to tell my parents would go on hikes and runnings, and I said, I don't want to go. I don't even mention.
No,
And I
me
used
too.
to be
I
in
was
a
like that
bad
before
attitude.
too. Yep.
And then I joined track and field and cross country in high school. And oh my God, now I love to run. And then I realized that I couldn't even run 15 minutes. And now I'm able to run above 45 minutes. And you get to see how powerful your body is.
Yep.
So, Annalie, thank you for mentioning that because it's a huge factor.
Yeah, and like you were saying, like for me, I do cycling. So on my bike, whenever I'm on it, it's a great way for me to just, again, like you said, connect with my body. But I'm also connecting it with something else, right? So I'm using the bike and my body to both improve myself and improve my handling, my speed, and everything. I didn't have much of a competitive spirit when I was in high school, to be honest, and that made me suffer in sports because I didn't really have a motivation. So sometimes it's actually pretty good to be competitive because it makes you want to be better, right? It makes you want to be stronger. And for me, over time, I've gotten way more competitive. And with cycling, I always set like time goals. Like, okay, I have to hit this stretch in like 6 minutes or less, or else I feel like I didn't accomplish anything. I don't know. That's probably a little more intense. I'm a little more intense when it comes to that stuff because I really want to improve. I'm very motivated to make myself the best that I can absolutely be. And if I can achieve that, then it boosts my confidence and it makes me feel overall better and more calm when I come back. I'm like, okay, I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. I don't know. Yeah.
That confidence thing that you mentioned is so important, especially with school. There comes a point where you are working and it can be you start to doubt yourself and you say you are not smart. Oh, I'm not smart. And you see people around you saying, you see how fast they get things and all of that. So learn.
That's a good reason too. Yep.
So learn to, when I say connect with yourself, I mean learn to hear your feelings. And if you feel that you're having thoughts of I'm not smart, go back and give yourself some credit. You guys accomplish so many things that we don't give ourselves credit for that. We just kind of like all the good things we do, we just kind of like leave it.
away.
And the bad things, oh my God, you
We
can
make
list
them,
a
like,
huge list.
Or we can just keep things from the past that were bad that we still think about, right?
So to all of you, take some time and acknowledge where you were and where you are right now. I know for me, like that was something I did not know how to do. I always looked at the bad stuff. But over time, once you start learning and accomplishing things, and going back, it's a huge thing that can help your confidence, and it makes you so powerful with yourself.
Yeah, I also wanted to add that running is so accessible. Like if you live in an apartment and you share a room with your sisters and you feel like you're stuck, then you should definitely go on a run. Unfortunately, we are at the end of the show, and we did want to talk more, but there's no more time. But do you guys have any last words?
Well, for me, to all of you guys who are graduating, congratulations. You guys have worked really, really hard to get to this point. And to those who are on to college, good luck. You guys are going to do amazing. And remember that you guys are absolutely one of a kind. And without you, we wouldn't be where we are today. You matter. So just
you matter, and don't let anyone stop you from doing what you love.
Absolutely.
Never,
agree.
never, never let anyone stop you. You are your own person, and you make your own decisions. Don't make other people make your own decisions.
Yes.
All right.
Agree.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.